15 minutes ago, so I sprinted. I sprinted back in order to make this video. But like, this is an all around crazy situation, because there are literally tens of thousands to see Fever players. And I still love it. I still love it, the fact that people are complaining the Fever fans are bad and they're only there to watch one player, and that there's still not record viewership in case.
An exceptional display of fan devotion occurred when Indiana Fever athletes Ari McDonald and Lexi Hull visited Chicken Salad Chick for a planned meet and greet event. The gathering, promoted by Eddie Fever shortly beforehand, attracted an enormous crowd that extended across multiple city blocks. Hundreds of basketball supporters created lengthy queues that surrounded the establishment and continued down adjacent streets.
And they're only there to watch one player, and that there's still not record viewership in games not including Caitlin Clark. And if you're one of those people, subscribe. Even if you're not one of those people, you're just watching Caitlin Clark, that's fine too, because no one should police how you watch sport. No one should police how you watch sport. So you could hit 52.9k by the end of the day. That'd be insane. But lads, this is kind of crazy. Carolyn Peck, here's Caitlin Clark fans waiting in a massive line to not give appreciation to any other members of her team. Yeah. Not gonna lie, but let's be real.
This massive attendance surpassed all projections, showcasing the extraordinary dedication of the Fever supporter base. Such scenes remain uncommon in women's professional basketball, highlighting the tremendous enthusiasm these particular athletes generate among their followers. The overwhelming participation demonstrates how specific players and organizations have successfully broadened the sport's influence and attraction.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, but let's be real. Carolyn Peck right now is in the anti-Caitlin Clark grift. And let's be completely honest. We're all to an extent, either overly focusing on her as one player or overly focusing on hating her. But yeah, it is.
Detractors argue that such assemblies emphasize individual celebrity over collective team achievements. These voices suggest that this fan behavior represents a limited view of supporting women's basketball, directing focus towards select players while potentially neglecting other skilled competitors throughout the league. Advocates respond that intense fandom in any manifestation strengthens the entire organization by boosting visibility and sparking interest in women's professional athletics. They contend that limiting how audiences connect with sports serves no beneficial function and may discourage newcomers from joining the athletic community.
It is a real interesting one here. This is what a fan base is all about. Support her teammates. I like to say that Lexi Hull, I mean this when I say this, I would say Lexi Hull, in the grand scheme of things, has made 7 figures in the last year. I know everybody's saying, it doesn't pay to be a member of Caitlin Clark's team. Like, yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Economic consequences of such popularity prove significant, as heightened fan involvement directly correlates with improved earning potential for athletes. Social media platforms have evolved into valuable resources, with competitors utilizing their online presence for sponsorship agreements and marketing collaborations. Athletes connected to successful franchises frequently obtain profitable endorsement deals that substantially enhance their standard compensation. Industry experts calculate that competitors with extensive online followings can produce considerable revenue through calculated partnerships and promotional material. The capacity to convert fan engagement into financial gain represents a major transformation in how professional athletes construct their careers and economic stability, especially in organizations where salary restrictions limit conventional earnings.
Caitlin Clark's team, yes, it does. Yes, it does. I would say easily 6 figures Sophie Cunningham made for that Ring doorbell thing. For the Ring doorbell sponsorship. And people don't understand how lucrative it is, how lucrative social media followers are. If you're able to monetize them, of course. If you're able to monetize them. It's very different when it's myself. It's very different when it's myself, because at the end of the day, I'm somebody that is.
The financial influence reaches beyond individual competitors to strengthen entire organizations and the wider league framework. Enhanced product sales, ticket purchases, and media coverage generate income sources that sustain league functions and athlete development initiatives. This expansion pattern illustrates how devoted fan base growth can reinforce the complete women's basketball structure. Attendance figures fluctuated considerably, with witnesses estimating participation between several hundred and more than 1,000 individuals. Regardless of exact totals, the assembly constituted among the largest public gatherings for women's basketball athletes outside competition venues, signaling the sport's increasing mainstream recognition. The Indiana Fever franchise has witnessed remarkable expansion in fan involvement, establishing a model that competing teams attempt to duplicate. This development has created fresh standards for fan interaction and community development within women's professional athletics, forming expectations for upcoming player appearances and marketing activities.
I'm somebody that is more on the followers based on the quantity rather than the old quality. Very different for that, and even in my 2K days when I had 300,000 subscribers, I ran an entire 2K channel about how to play the game without spending money. So my fan base were inherently cheap. So it wasn't like there was too much money involved in that. But yeah, all around, I do have to say, there's a lot of money to be gained. And you can see here, there are literally...
Contrasts with other organizations reveal the distinct position certain franchises maintain within the league environment. While other markets possess committed followers, few can produce the continuous excitement and community involvement exhibited by Indiana's supporter base. This difference emphasizes varying levels of market advancement across different metropolitan areas and regions. The occurrence raises inquiries about how competing teams and athletes might exploit similar chances to establish their own community relationships. Organizations examine successful fan engagement methods to create their own strategies for community development and player advancement.
There is well over, maybe 1,000 people. Maybe 1,000 people. So we're looking, it doesn't matter, I don't know how many times this turns. Probably at about 300-400 at this stage. Maybe 1,000? I don't know.
Several industry analysts observe that while such activities produce favorable publicity, they simultaneously create obstacles for league administrators seeking to preserve competitive equality and guarantee uniform attention across all teams and athletes. The concentration of fan interest in particular markets can generate disparities in media attention and business opportunities. Personnel choices may increasingly include marketing potential alongside conventional athletic performance measurements. Organizations might favor athletes who can stimulate fan interest in community participation, acknowledging that popular competitors contribute to organizational achievement beyond their performance contributions.
I don't know. Either way, doesn't really matter. My estimation skills don't change anything about this. My ability to estimate does not change the fact that Caitlin Clark and Fever fans is by a mile the biggest fan base in the WNBA. There's no other player. There's no other player here that is like...
The gathering also emphasized the changing connection between professional athletes and their communities. Contemporary sports marketing stresses personal relationships and genuine interactions, progressing beyond traditional promotional methods toward more intimate fan experiences. Social media records of the gathering circulated quickly across numerous platforms, expanding the reach and influence of the assembly. Recordings and photographs of the extensive crowd created additional interest and illustrated the effectiveness of grassroots fan organization in advancing women's basketball.